After spending 50 hours playing Elden Ring, I found myself itching to play more of it while writing this review. As you may have already heard, this highly anticipated open-world fantasy game from Software, featuring a storyline by George R.R. Martin of Game of Thrones fame, has been hailed as a masterpiece. I have spent 50 hours playing Elden Ring, and I must say, it's a masterpiece that will set the benchmark for future games. Along with games like Smash Bros., Breath of the Wild, Grand Theft Auto, and Dark Souls, Elden Ring will be a point of comparison for all its imitators in the coming years. However, words cannot do justice to the stunning experience that Elden Ring provides, and you need to play it to understand its true beauty. If you're still reading this instead of indulging in the game, here's a spoiler-free review to give you an idea of what to expect. But remember, every moment spent reading my review is a moment wasted not exploring the game's world, learning spells, discovering treasure, or being defeated by one of its terrifying monsters. As the protagonist in Elden Ring, you assume the role of a Tarnished, a heroic adventurer who slays formidable enemies in search of the Elden Ring, while journeying through a fantastical realm called the Lands Between. Speaking of this world, it's vast beyond measure. Though open-world games have become increasingly popular since Breath of the Wild, nothing comes close to the sheer scope of Elden Ring's playground. It's chock full of lore, hidden secrets, and so much more. I spent more than 18 hours exploring just the starting area alone, no joke, and when I returned later in the game, I discovered underground caves, mini bosses, treasures, and even entire cities beneath the surface. Words cannot do justice to the expansiveness and depth of this world. It's a gaming experience unlike any other. Elden Ring stands out not only for its stunning visuals, but also for its major departure from Software's Dark Souls series. Non-linear progression. This feature may not seem significant, but for a From Software game, it's a game changer. Non-linear progression allows players to leave markers and return to a boss, section, or dungeon later if they can't beat it, making the game's notorious difficulty more manageable. While other games have done this before, it's especially important for From Software's titles, which are known for their unforgiving nature. Of course, Elden Ring still has the potential to ramp up the difficulty and leave players frustrated. Elden Ring stands out not only for its stunning visuals, but also for its major departure from Software's Dark Souls series. Non-linear progression. This feature may not seem significant, but for a From Software game, it's a game changer. Non-linear progression allows players to leave markers and return to a boss, section, or dungeon later if they can't beat it, making the game's notorious difficulty more manageable. While other games have done this before, it's especially important for From Software's titles, which are known for their unforgiving nature. Of course, Elden Ring still has the potential to ramp up the difficulty and leave players frustrated. The story in Elden Ring, co-crafted by renowned author George R.R. Martin, takes center stage and offers a vast and intricate narrative that rivals a complete book series. From Software and Martin have masterfully filled every abandoned structure with rich lore and added eerie elements that keep you on your toes. The story is full of Thrones-level twists that will leave you questioning your choices. Exploring the world and talking to NPCs yields precious rewards and the chance to meet some of the most charming, weirdest, and downright disturbing characters imaginable, such as Alexander, a giant clay pot who speaks with a British accent and is a fighting champion. Elden Ring also boasts an array of nightmare-inducing enemies, such as a terrifying creature that looks like a cross between a flying monkey from The Wizard of Oz and the barfing kid from The Exorcist. Elden Ring boasts an impressive range of gameplay and combat options that allow players to create their own unique playstyle. With a plethora of weapons, spells, and tools at your disposal, the possibilities are endless. Whether you prefer ranged attacks, close combat, or mounted combat like Shadow of the Colossus, Elden Ring accommodates every preference. In my 50 hours of gameplay, I continue to discover new weapons and spells that keep things fresh and exciting. Elden Ring is a game that encourages players to experiment and find their own path to victory. In Elden Ring, players get to fulfill a long-time gaming dream of exploring a completely customizable high fantasy world. From software's non-linear progression and an expansive open world packed with lore and secrets make Elden Ring a masterpiece that will be hard to beat. Players get to experience a vast range of combat options, including spells, arrows, swords, and even horseback battles. The game has exceeded expectations and is already a strong contender for Game of the Year and possibly Game of the Decade. It's a must-play for any fan of action RPGs. So what are you waiting for? Get your copy of Elden Ring and join the adventure, Tarnished.